Michael, Alisa back on BYU Sports Nation. Michael, you getting comfortable in that chair yet, my friend?
Oh, not yet. I'm still getting the hang of things, but you guys have been making things really comfortable. Thank you.
You handle Houston 33-25. Did you have BYU Sports Nation karma withdrawals in that game?
Man, I was thinking about that after we finished last week together. I was like, man, I didn't get the karma this week. What's the deal?
You did leave, and I was like, should we have given them the karma? Yeah, we didn't give you the karma, and then I'm just looking at the box score. I see 2 tackles. I don't see any picks, fumble recovery. Were there
no
withdrawals?
turnovers. Yeah, I need the karma. So this week, don't forget, end of the show, let me get that.
We will end the interview appropriately.
Okay. Thanks, man.
With the BYU Sports
Nation
that. Karma.
Let's end with the bad stuff and then get to the good stuff. We noticed you were in on the Hail Mary. What happened?
I was. Oh, man. It looked like a punt. I just remember looking at the ball for it felt like 3 minutes, just staring at it. And I wish I had found the receiver because he was in front of me. I thought I was back in the end zone, deep enough, but I should have moved up and been in front of him.
It's such a weird play and a weird sequence where all of a sudden it's 23-0. All of a sudden you look up, you're like, wait a minute, it's 23-15. What happened?
Yeah. So there was a turnover right before that play. Yeah. So we're all running off the bench, scrambling to get our helmets on, and then they do the Hail Mary, and just a weird sequence of events. And going into the half, I was like, I'm definitely changing my socks now. So I hurried, threw my socks away, hurried and put my new socks on. So I was like, okay, let's go.
Did it make a difference?
I think it did. It actually does kind of reset your mind. It's nice.
So there was this 8-minute and 8-second weird scenario. Jaron broke it down in detail of all of the things that went wrong.
The interception off the helmet, the unsportsmanlike, or the roughing the passer on a 3rd down and goal. Scott Orlando punt, the Mitchell Juergens fumble, the Hail Mary, all that. It just got weird. In an 8-minute span. Yet at no point did I feel like the game was out of BYU's control. Yeah. Like you were ever going to lose.
And I don't think we felt that either. I think we did get little just upset with ourselves, just knowing that we're better than that. We're better than those turnovers. We're better than, the late hits and the penalties. So that was the only thing. Just a little frustration there. But yeah, in no time in the game was I scared, or worried what was happening with that.
3rd best rush defense in America right now. You give up 10 yards against Houston, and probably credit to Houston for just being like, you know what, it's not working. Let's just
it's over.
Let's just throw the ball. Let's throw the ball. What's working so well for your front 7 against opposing rushing offenses? I mean, Texas has 2 good running backs. You held them to 82. What's going right?
Well, I would say the Texas line was, a little young, and Houston, like you said, was throwing the ball more. So, I still feel like we're unproven. Yes, we're assignment sound. We get our gaps and we hit the holes hard, but Virginia's going to be the real test for stopping the run because they have a good line and good running backs, and they run well. I think, what's the stat? They have the least tackles for loss, or they're 2nd in the nation for least tackles for loss. So they have a good line and they're good up front.
What's the key to stopping the run for you guys? What are some of those simple principles that when you are successful, you guys are doing?
So our defensive tackles need a 2-gap well and just blow guys back off the line, and then we got to hold the edge well. That's it, just being assignment sound. And so in Houston, I got caught looking inside and tried to fold a little too fast to make the play, and the guy ended up bouncing on me. He got 3 yards because the corner was there, but it's little plays like that. You can't make those little mistakes. You got to be assignment sound and trust the guys next to you that they're going to make the play.
I'm guessing Craig Bills is not going to get a Christmas card anytime soon from Deontay Greenberry, the receiver from Houston.
Who sends Christmas cards still, at our age, Christmas cards? I think there are some people I do not. My wife wants to. I'm like, no, come on.
My wife does. We send Christmas cards.
Regardless. Well, this is awkward.
Regardless, okay? Craig Bills laying the lumber. Twice on Deontay Greenberry. What does a hit like that do for your defense?
So the first hit, I almost got a penalty. Because, I just saw the hit, and, I jumped, 10 feet in the air and landed, right in front of the receiver on the ground, still rolling around in pain. I was like, whoa! I didn't say anything. I just said, whoa! Because, you see a hit like that, and it just fires you up, man.
Yeah. First play on defense.
Oh, yeah. And that was taking me back to high school, too. So I had that firing me up, and I was, reminiscing a little bit at the same time. But, yeah, that's Craig Bills. That's who he is.
Yeah, you've seen him doing that since he was 15.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. Well, he used to be a little more, wild and just throw his body and hit me sometimes. So now he's a little more skilled and honed in on the actual target. So even better.
When I say Christmas cards, you can send a PDF, right? You could send it not the actual card. My wife, she's like, I feel like I have to address this for some reason. Even with wedding invites, I was like, why don't we just send them an email? Just everyone an email. Like, why do we have to spend money on stamps?
It's better than a text, I guess.
You know, like when you get married, think about this, okay?
A group text to announce your wedding reception.
Hey, just FYI, it's just info. Goodness. I look at them and go, trash.
Hey, this is priceless information for your future.
I'm not Mr. Bean hanging them up in my house or whatever, like that I send to myself. Okay, let's get to real conversation here. We've talked about nicknames with different guys. Okay, we're 3 games in. Have more nicknames emerged with guys on the team?
Not yet. I haven't. Nothing I've heard. Have you guys heard anything?
No.
We're wondering if there's something wrong, or if it's just
like. Does Craig Bills have a nickname? I can't remember.
He should. I feel like there are so many nicknames he could be given, especially after the Houston game.
Yes.
We should work on one for Craig. As a matter of fact, we should throw that out to BYU Sports Nation.
Use the hashtag BYUSN.
Tweet it in.
Yeah.
Give Craig a nickname.
What should Craig's nickname be?
Yeah.
Surely you have some clever monikers.
The lumberjack, laying the wood.
Oh, nice.
I don't know.
Okay.
All that. Yeah.
Okay.
He just wears plaid shirts all the time. Whatever. Yeah.
BYU senior linebacker Michael Alisa with us on BYU Sports Nation. We are all access with the BYU football team. You're 3-0. There has been so much banter in the national media about what if BYU does this? What if they're undefeated? And how do you stay grounded, including us? This is what we do. We talk about these things. As a football team and a football player, you're not supposed to. How do you stay grounded?
Yeah, Spence, it's so easy to get just excited and get amped up when you see that record. You see us like cracking into the national rankings, and it's so easy to start getting fooling yourself and start drinking your own Kool-Aid a little too much. And I would just answer that question with our team meeting today. After team meeting, we split into our defensive and offensive groups, and Harvey Jackson, the Nebraska transfer, stands up in the middle of our defensive meeting and says, listen, guys, he's like, the media can talk all they want, but that's fluff. It can all fly out the window with one loss. When I was at Nebraska, we were ranked 15, 14 in the nation. We got prideful. We lost the next game. He's like, focus on this game, and that's it. It's a one-game season. Because, you start focusing on what you've accomplished and what might happen, and you lose the moment. So right now it's Virginia, nothing else. One-game season.
That fires me up hearing that a guy that's not a BYU guy, but now he is, adopted BYU guy, comes in and he lends that perspective. Like, did that just come out of nowhere? Yeah. Like, did he interrupt someone to say that?
So Coach Howell was giving us a little pep speech, telling us the exact same thing. And Harvey stands up and is like, Coach, can I say something? And we're all just like...
Nobody in that moment's like, no.
Yeah. Like, man, yes. Harvey Jackson. So it definitely fired us up because coming from a peer, he's saying what we all know, but it's good to remind us of that. And also bringing his experience from Nebraska. Hey, when I was at Nebraska, we were ranked. We were a really good team. We had good athletes. Media was all high on us. And then we got prideful and lost the next game. He's like, stay grounded. Today, let's go to work and practice. And let's focus on dominating Virginia today on Wednesday.
One-game season against Virginia on Saturday on ESPN, 3:30 kickoff, 2:30 Mountain or 2:30 Eastern for countdown to kickoff live on BYU TV. As you look at the Cavaliers, you mentioned the run. Kevin Parks is the current
ACC active career leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. So
Thank you.
The dude can ball. He chips away. Taquan Mazzell, another guy they use on fly sweeps and that kind of thing. They have a couple varied looks. In the run game.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you working on? What are you focusing on besides stopping the run? Is there anything else?
So I know I've been like beating this like a drum, but it all comes down to just being assignment sound. Because another thing Virginia does, they do like those trick plays. So the fly sweeps, and do fly sweep and pass it. So just being assignment sound, just focus on the guy in front of you, keeping good eyes if you're in the secondary, not peeking into the backfield because there's going to be all sorts of stuff going back there. But just doing your job. That's it.
I know you guys aren't saying like, hey, revenge game. But what role does last year's game play in this year's game?
Not as much as I think people would think. One thing that's interesting, though, is being independent. It is a one-game season, and every game is your championship game, really. And last year, Virginia took that from us. They took the wind out of our sails with our first game, gave us a loss. Now this game, it's the same scenario. We're going into it 0-0, right? And we want to be 1-0 after this week. So, I'm looking at it as a rebirth and another opportunity to beat a good team.
Bronco Mendenhall has called the team's swagger a humble swagger. And we've talked about this a little bit. How does that stay humble even after you win week to week to week. I mean, you beat Texas 41-7, and then it's a natural inclination for a fan base and everyone to just kind of be like, yeah, we're legit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So how does a team hold on to the humble swagger? How do you do that?
It takes more and more focus as you get higher on the mountain. I think you got to be even more dialed in to what you're doing and to just you doing your job. I think you keep it simple. That's the key. Everyone else is thinking, you know, I hear talk about Tasman.
Tasman.
Hashtag Tasman. And, you know, it's just you can't listen to any of that because like I said, you lose one game and all that just blows right out the window. It's gone. So you focus on the job at hand, the task at hand, and that's it. Just don't even listen to the media.
Does the team feel pressure at all to win with style points?
I think a win's a win. I did feel like the Houston game could have gone better, but here's the thing. If you're playing against a good team, you have them up, was it 23-21-0?
23-0.
Yeah, 23 zip. It's a good team. They're going to fight back. And that was something that we need to do better on, is like keeping the pressure on another team, because we're going to be going against these good teams, and they're D1 athletes. They're good teams. So they're not just going to lay down in the first quarter. The mental break will come eventually if we keep pushing into the fourth quarter maybe. But, I mean, you got to keep your foot on the gas pedal, flooring it.
When you're playing against teams like Virginia and Georgia Tech last year came in, these teams come from the East Coast. Now they're coming from sea level to elevation. They're playing in front of a raucous crowd in Provo, Utah. How much of a home field advantage does LaVell Edwards Stadium create for you?
I think it helps a ton. And I love our new fan section, The Rock. I love that. It's so different than it was in years past. I think the stadium has gone a lot louder, especially on third downs, and it's a fun place to play in. I love our venue. We have a great stadium here. And
now this isn't BYU of old. Turn down for what plays on third down, or third down for what? Isn't that crazy? This isn't your grandma's BYU.
Where's this coming from?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Where's the Darth Vader soundtrack? You know?
Where's popcorn popping in the fourth quarter with the lead?
It's turned down for what?
Is being ranked 21st and kind of the darling of the non-P5s, is that a burden or a blessing?
It can be both depending on how you're doing in the season. It can be a blessing because you can fight.
Like now, what is it?
Right now, it can be a burden, and you just gotta just ignore all that. But in the beginning of the season, it was a blessing. We're the underdogs, so we have that chip on our shoulder. But right now, it's easy for guys to forget about that and lose that chip that they have and lose that hard edge. But I mean, you got to ignore all that, like I said, and just focus on just.
I'm gonna give you something to be chippy about. Matt Millen, who was calling the game for ESPN on Saturday, he said BYU is on upset alert. He thinks Virginia has a great chance to come in here and beat you guys. So take that back to the locker room and you tell your teammates that the ESPN guy thinks that you guys are on upset alert.
I'll take it back, but I'm telling you, the guys are dialed in. Especially after that speech by Harvey Jackson today, we went into practice. Today was a completely different practice than we had yesterday. Guys are flying around. Those poor scout guys, in practice, you don't feel for them, but after practice, you're like, hey, man, sorry about that hit. Because, we're flying. We don't want them to even cross the line of scrimmage. So, guys just flying in, just, laying into dudes. So, it was a really good practice today. And we approach practice like we approach each game. There is no tomorrow. We're not saving anything for tomorrow. We're laying it all on the line today in team practice. So, it's been awesome.
You have earned the BYU Sports Nation karma once again.
Yes.
For delivering the goods.
You know who else I want to give it to right now? Harvey Jackson. We also give Harvey Jackson the BYU Sports Nation karma.
You can transfer
he deserves it.
That Sports Nation karma to Harvey Jackson as well.
Okay. Now I know it's transferable. Okay.
A double dose. Absolutely.
Now go, my son, and succeed against Virginia.
Awesome.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.